Next fight we're gonna look at Dricus Du Plessis versus Derek Brunson. Du Plessis has been action, action, action from the moment he stepped in the UFC. I mean, from the moment he stepped in the UFC. But if you look at his entire career, he finishes fights. This guy is fan favorite. It's a reason why he's on pay per views. I just saw something that he was upset that he's on the prelims, but man, is he an exciting fighter? This is it's some good fights on this card. I'm really excited for these fights. I'm really excited for this card. But Dracus finished 3 of his 4 fights in the UFC, and they've all been action packed. He is 18 wins, 18-2. Of those 18 wins, he's finished 17 of them. This guy comes forward, he blitzes forward. He he's foot on the gas pedal the entire fight. I underestimated him in his last fight. I saw the previous fights and I believe that he gasses out from the first few fights I've seen. And I thought against Darren Till that it was a perfect opponent for Darren Till because it's somebody who would stand up with him, would exchange, would come forward. I know, like I said, he blitzes forward, head up in the air, swing, 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 and he usually catch that last shot. He'll catch you. And Du Plessis, like I said, finished 17 out of his 18 fights. He catch you with the right punch. He can end the fight. He can end your night. No matter who you are, he has the power to finish fights. And he's going to come forward and blitz at you. So I believe that Darren Till will have the ability to get back on track against a fighter who was willing to exchange with him because in his previous few fights, he had fought wrestlers who wanted to take him down, drain him because they knew his takedown defense was below average. And in my thought process, Du Plessis was somebody who liked to stand up. He wasn't going to challenge him that much on the takedowns. If he did try him, he wasn't. That wasn't his. That wasn't a major skill set of his. So, thought Teal had practiced on that, understood that, worked on his takedowns to be able to stop it, and Du Plessis would gas out. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Du Plessis completed 6 of 6 takedowns. He didn't gas out, and he finished. Like, couldn't have been more wrong on that take. Du Plessis looked fantastic. His gas tank looked improved. He showed another side, another dimension of his game with the takedowns that I previously noticed in the UFC. Looked fantastic. He's going up against Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson, last fight out, first round, had a knockdown on Cannonier, was laying heavy ground and pound. Like, that first round, Derek Brunson looked phenomenal. Phenomenal. Then in the second round, Jerry Cannonier, any point in time, the power carries. The power doesn't matter that you had him on the brink of being finished in the first round. Irrelevant. Because if he hit you with the right shot, he can end your night. Like, just like Du Plessis. If he hit you with the right shot, it's over. And that's what happened. Bloody Brunson, bloody blonde Brunson by the end of that fight. And Jerry Cannonier got the win. But before that fight, Derek Brunson was on a nice little streak. He was looking good. He fought Kevin Holland, dominated that fight. He fought Emin Shabazian, dominated that fight. Like, he was on a nice little run, and late in his career at this weight class at 185, his I don't want to say his days are numbered. That sounded bad. That sounds really dark. But his opportunities at a title shot are starting to diminish. And if he would have won that fight against Jared Cannonier, it would have been the boost that he needed because, Jared Cannonier got that shot against Adesanya and unfortunately he ended up falling. But That was Derek Brunson's shot. That was his opportunity. That was his path. And he talked a lot about retirement after that fight. He was ready to give it up. He's 39 years old. Du Plessis is 29. There's a 10-year age gap in this fight. And Du Plessis is rolling. He's got some good wins. He beat Darren Till. Now he's fighting Derek Brunson. This would really shoot him up the ranking. Like, these would be back-to-back wins. These would be huge. And then his next fight would be maybe a top 5 contender. So this is a huge spot for Du Plessis. There's a lot of pressure on Derek Brunson. If he loses this fight, it's maybe his last fight in the UFC, because his goal is a title shot. And now, you're 39, you lose this fight. Now you're gonna start to reach gatekeeper status. It's not a title shot run. So this is a big fight for both of these guys, and very, very vital part of their careers. I mean, Du Plessis, if he loses, he's 29, he'd be okay. But I'm pretty sure he wants a top 5 shot. He wants a top 5 shot, and he can call it. And he's an exciting fighter. He's somebody the fans can get behind. Like, he's a really intriguing fighter. So this will be an interesting fight. But the way I'm leaning, how I'm understanding this fight will go, my belief, Du Plessis has the power to finish this fight at any point in time. However, in this fight, he's gonna have to dial it back, because he charges in kind of lunging, running shots, and that is, against some people, against a lot of people, that works. I don't believe that he was able to control his gas tank in the Darren Till fight because he was the one initiating the takedowns. Darren Till got one takedown, but he was the one initiating takedowns. He controlled it on the ground. The fight was in his hands, in his control. I don't think that's going to be the case in this fight. I think he's going to charge forward, or I think he's going to try to stay disciplined, and that's not his game. Not that he's not a disciplined fighter, but he's going to be more reserved, because he has to understand that charging in against Derek Brunson, you're going right to the ground, man. You're going right to the ground. He's going to time it up. He's going to take you down, and it's a different drain on your gas tank when you're on your back compared to when you're in control. And I believe Derek Brunson is going to be able to get him down. I don't believe that his gas tank issues are completely resolved as far as Du Plessis. I believe that Derek Brunson is going to grind this fight out. Du Plessis is going to get desperate later towards the end of the second round, start of the third round. He's going to get desperate, start throwing shots, and he's going to open himself up. Derek Brunson is going to drain him, take him into those deep waters, and Derek Brunson is getting a win in this fight.